Fore village is located in northwest County Westmeath. The name Fore comes from the Irish Fubber or Ballyfubber, meaning town of the spring. Though the village may be quiet today, in the Middle Ages it was quite a prosperous monastic community. As situated 1 kilometre west of the village lies the remains of Saint Fechin's monastic settlement and the Benedictine Priory. These well-preserved buildings consist of Saint Fechin's church, the anchorite cell, and the Benedictine Priory. Nestled within a valley as the mountains of Knocknamonaster and Ben of Fore to the northeast and Carrickballor to the south, which control and dominate the skyline. Fore village embraces the 7 wonders, some of which are related to Saint Fechin. The wonders include the monastery built on a marsh, refers to the Benedictine Priory built within a marsh. Mill without a race, Saint Fechin's Mill, located northeast of Saint Fechin's Church, believed to have been built where no water ran. Saint Fechin travelled to Loch Lane, located south of Fore, where he rose his crozier and sent the water gushing through Carrickballor to turn the mill. Tree that won't burn refers to the 3 branches, representing the Trinity, which grew near the priory and would not burn. Water that won't boil is the water within Saint Fechin's well, which won't boil and is bad luck if you try. Water that flows uphill refers to the water which is believed to run uphill in order to turn the mill. The lentil stone located over the doorway of Saint Fechin's church, believed to be placed there by the prayers of the saint himself. The anchorite within the stone refers to the anchorite cell, which sits below Carrickballor and was occupied by anchorites up until the 16th century. Anchorites were men and women dedicated to living a life of solitude, in which they made a pledge to be locked within a building known as anchor holes, in order to read the scriptures and pray for their community until they died. These people were highly regarded within their communities, and it is believed that Saint Fechin followed and promoted this unusual holy life. Saint Fechin is believed to have arrived at Fore in 630 AD, and soon afterwards he established his church, which consisted of 300 monks. The church is the earliest building of the site and is located within a graveyard beside the modern road. It is believed to date to the 2nd quarter of the 7th century. It is a rectangular structure consisting of a simple nave and chancel. The nave is believed to be a pre-12th century structure, which contains a font which dates to the 13th century. The chancel, situated to the east, was a later addition, dating from the 12th century. A sheila na gig is present as you enter the chancel, which also consists of an altar, flanked to the left by a corbel which contains a cross, sacristy in the east corner, and piscina on the south wall, used to cleanse the hands during Mass. The east window, originally a twin light window, is now partially filled in and replaced by an ogee-headed window, typical of the 14th century. A splay window faces north towards the priory, while another occupies the south. The most striking feature of Saint Fechin's church is the tribetta doorway, which contains the large stone raised by Saint Fechin's prayers, which also contains an unusual feature of a lopsided cross located in the centre of the stone. Positioned to the east of the church within the graveyard is one of the many crosses of Fore. It is a pre-12th century undecorated pierced ring cross set on a modern concrete shaft. Another smaller cross is located in the village centre, which is quite weathered but shows Christ's crucifixion. Saint Fechin's church was attacked multiple times between 745 and 1176 AD, which indicates its importance until it was overshadowed by the Benedictine Priory in the 1180s. Saint Fechin died on the 20th of January 644 AD from yellow fever. Each year on the 20th of January, people visit Fore to commemorate the life of the saint. The Benedictine Priory at Fore is believed to have been established before 1185. Prior to this, it is believed the Fore was granted to Hugh de Lacy as part of the Liberty of Meath in 1172. The death of de Lacy in 1241 saw Fore eventually pass to the crown in 1416. Fore was frequently taken into the king's hands and delivered to a guardian during the 100 Years' War, as it was an alien house dependent on a French abbey. As Fore was an exposed frontier town of the Anglo-Norman colony, the priory and its lands were attacked by the Irish in 1423 and 1428, which led to the priory being fortified in the 15th century. Evidence of this can be seen in the town gates, one positioned to the southeast of Fore village and the other located northwest. In 1475, Fore was granted to Christopher Nugent, where it remained in the family. After this, little is known of the priory at Fore. Preservation of the priory began in 1912 and careful restoration of the outer buildings began in 1934. The priory comprises of a church, refectory, sleeping quarters, monks' offices arranged around a cloister, out offices and a dovecote used to house pigeons and doves. The church is situated on the east side and three 12th century windows light the interior. Positioned southeast of the priory is the gatehouse, which was the only entrance into the priory before renovations occurred at the site. Located below Carrickballagh is the anchorite cell, which consists of a 15th century tower with a 19th century extension, used as a mausoleum by the Greville Nugent family of Delvin, who restored the anchorite cell in 1680. The family's crest is located above the doorway, with another present within the mausoleum. Another plaque rests on the south wall, dedicated to Patrick Beagle, the last anchorite of the cell, dating to 1616 AD. The ground floor chamber was originally lit by the south splay window, while the east window was a later addition, dating to around the 19th century and used to light the Nugent altar and memorial. The ground floor has a pointed barrel vault, which is evident in the wickerwork centering present on the roof. A ladder would have been used to enter the vault, which may have been used for storage or even as sleeping quarters. Located in the north wall is a round arched doorway opening into the spiral stairs which leads to the first floor. The narrow staircase is lit by two slit windows, while the roof of the tower was remodelled in 1874. The first floor chamber, lit by three windows, the east and south wall, which contains single-lit rectangular windows, while the west wall contains an ogee-headed window, which looks out onto the Nugent Mausoleum. Other features within the chamber include a fireplace in the south wall and a corner area in the north wall, suggested to be a latrine or toilet. Present outside the upper part of the tower on the west side is a protruding head with a broad forehead and open mouth. This seems to date to the tower, as it is positioned below where remodelling occurred. On the upper part of the south wall is a limestone gargoyle, and on the east wall a semicircular feature. Both these features were used as dripstones to control the movement of rainwater. The views from the tower are quite restricting, and deliberately so, as the landscape was an important element in this contemplative lifestyle. The mountain of Carrickballagh seems to have played an important role, as it is the most prominent landmark within Fore, and seems to have encouraged the placements of the buildings currently present at Fore. Fore is truly a place of wonder and myth which can be enjoyed by all.